Today, I am here with one of our amazing betrayed contributing authors, Nina Abbott, who is joining us to talk a little bit about the upcoming book Betrayed and what it was that inspired her to join us. So thanks for being here, Nina. I'd love it if you would just introduce yourself to everybody and let them know a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, I'm Nina. I'm originally from Chile. I live in the Netherlands for already 22 years. And I'm a translator, proofreader, and editor. I work helping people to transmit their message to the Spanish speaking audience.
Yes, I love that you have such an international experience as well, coming all the way from South America and moving to the Netherlands. It resonates for me quite a lot, having done that from Australia to Italy as well. But also, it's lovely to have somebody coming into this container who's also got experience in the publishing industry and has a story to share about your experiences of betrayal. So I know, having seen your chapter come through already, because you're
Mhm.
amazing. Um, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what it was that made you feel called to contribute to this particular book.
Um, at the moment when we talked about that, it was in October, I believe. Yeah, the event had just happened, and I was quite furious still, and I needed to put my thoughts in order to see what I could do with that feeling that I had, something constructive, not destructive,
Mhm.
and um, yeah, I wanted to create something that will make me win and not make me lose.
Yeah.
So that's why when we discussed that event, and you told me, look, there is this possibility. Would you like to share? I thought immediately, yes, sure. Why not? Maybe it's a good chance, not only for me to win as a person, to grow as a person, but also for others to see that this could happen to anyone.
Yes, I love that, because we all do, in our different ways, experience some kind of betrayal, whether it's in a situation like yours where it was quite literally um, somebody doing the dirty on you in business,
Yeah,
and that this does happen to us as women. It's not always just a situation of things that happen within social groups. It can happen in business as well. And I think this is a really important element or topic to be covering, because I think that a lot of um, women feel ashamed to share these experiences.
well, I want to create awareness that sometimes when something is too good to be true, you have
Hmm.
to be more alert. You have
Yes.
to really research more about what you're getting into. And even though this job was posted in a well known platform, and yeah, it seems that everything was fine, everything was written on paper, email. Emails mostly, but at
Yeah.
least in the Netherlands, in Europe, that counts
Yeah.
as something binding. Uh, it happened anyway.
Yes. So you touched on a moment ago about how you want to let other people know that this could happen to anyone. So what is it that you hope that your chapter is going to do to help and inspire the readers?
Um, I want to help them have a different perspective of the situation they are into. It can seem very dark, can be painful, can be yeah, something that really gets you angry. But depending on the perspective that you are focused on, you can choose to win and not to lose.
Yes, I love that perspective. I think it's so important that we actually get to choose our reactions, right? We get to choose
Yeah.
to see the betrayal or a failure of a relationship or of a partnership or of a project or whatever as an end point and as something
The
that
beginning.
is painful and uncomfortable and devastating, or we can choose, as you have, to see if you could turn it into something beautiful or turn it into something that actually created a new opportunity. And I think it's really, I love that you're emphasizing that you want the reader to realize that they have that choice to shift their perspective.
Yes. When you are older, you begin to realize that more and more. As a young person, probably you choose things that somebody else had laid for you there, and you are not really conscious of what you're choosing.
Mhm.
But when life goes on, you get more experience in life. Then you realize that you have the possibility to choose. Maybe it would not be all the time what you would have chosen if you had other choices, but you can choose something that is better than what you're into.
Yes, that's so beautiful. So then what is it that you are hoping that you will get out of contributing to this book personally? What is going to be that gift that you receive from sharing your chapter with the world?
Um, well, the possibility to continue creating something uh, amazing for myself and for others. Actually, writing this chapter motivated me to begin writing an idea that I have for a book. If that is going to happen or not, I don't know yet. The only one that has seen some uh, pieces of it is my youngest brother, but he liked it a lot. So maybe that is something I could uh, work more on and see where it leads me.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's inspiring you to write down and expand on the other ideas that you have, and I hope that you really do go and continue to explore this idea and at least write the story.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm doing that at the moment. Sometimes I'm, yeah, a little lazy to do it, or I procrastinate because I think, should I do it or not? But I push myself forward, and yeah, I really want to continue developing my idea.
I love that because do you find that it is quite a shift? Obviously, you have years of experience doing translator and editor work. Have you found that there have been any particular shifts for you switching from being the person reviewing or helping to craft and shape somebody else's story in a different language than it is to articulate your own story?
Um, yes, actually, that is the case. When you write something, um, you're putting your soul in it, and you want it to be perfect. And sometimes you read what you wrote, and you think it's not good enough. You have to put yourself above that and let it be, and then later on come back and really, with a more objective perspective, read it again and see, is it really so bad what I wrote? Maybe it's not.
I think, yes, you're right. So often it's the mind monkeys that tell us that something is
Yes.
not good enough. And if we aren't waiting and coming back with that objective eye, we risk, so many of us, just deleting the things and thinking, oh, it's, like, or scrunching up the piece of paper and throwing it in the bin. Oh, this is terrible. Nobody is going to want to read this or whatever,
Yeah.
instead of allowing it that time to settle.
Yes.
And I love that you brought that up as well, because I'm not sure if you saw the interview we did with Ruth, who also does work as an editor too. She said a very
Yeah.
similar thing,
Yeah, she
just
said it too.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, just right. Don't judge. Let it sit and then come back to it. So I love that that you have this same feeling and that you're experiencing this same thing, because I think that message is also really important for writers, especially new authors and new writers, to hear, especially from experienced editors like yourself, not to judge themselves too harshly, and to give themselves the space to let the words settle and then come back and use that objective eye, um, and think, is it really so bad? No,
Yes.
probably isn't.
Yeah, probably isn't. And in translation, you also have that. You can't just deliver something without looking at it one last time and see, could I change something that really needs to be changed, or is it good as it is right now?
Yeah.
Give you
I
the time to process, because it can be quite exhausting, especially when the topic is a difficult one. So
Mhm.
it's better to give you the time to process what you are translating, what you are putting in another language.
Yes, I have found that, well, obviously not translating formally, but in the process of learning a new language in a new country, even mentally translating from English to Italian or from Italian back into English, that it's not always just a literal direct translation of what the
No.
exact words are or mean, because it's the meaning and the essence of what is being shared overall that needs to be conveyed as well. And sometimes that takes time to and intention to think about.
Yes, for it to let it flow naturally, yeah, you need to practice, and yeah, you need to let it flow.
Yeah. So what tips then what's one of your biggest tips that you would have for a new writer or even an experienced writer to think about when they are, you know, writing that first draft, when they are tackling a new project and they are feeling like they don't know where to start, or it feels a little bit silly to get started? What's one thing that you would say to them from, from your years of experience?
I will recommend them to think about the character as it was a friend that is sitting there, and you ask him, "What do you want to say?" I will transcribe everything you want to say, and then you can read it and you can edit it or change it, but just let it flow. Say what you want to say, and I will write it for you.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. And I think sometimes taking that step back, even if we're sharing our own stories, taking that step back and looking at it from a little bit of a distance, as if it was, like you said, if it was like you were sitting talking with a friend or something like that, and allowing the story to come out without all of the blockages that we place on ourselves.
Yes. Yes, sometimes we don't let ourselves speak our wishes or our truth, and that gets stuck. So if you want to be constructive with yourself, you have to let it flow.
Yes, so beautiful. So, what part of the journey then, and what part of being in this Wounded Women series container with us throughout the journey of bringing Betrayed into the world are you most looking forward to?
Normally, when it is something so intense, I really look forward to see what the people think about it. Doesn't matter if it is negative or positive, but to see the final product in their hands and hearing what they have to say about it.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I also cannot wait to see when each and every one of you are holding your books in your hands and having an opportunity to see it become real, and how that makes each of you feel to hold your story and the stories of all of the other women um, in a precious little container that is encapsulated in this moment in time, but that will actually live on and continue to be out there in the world, for forever.
Yes.
So
Yes, you are giving something, giving something to the world, and that is really an amazing feeling that you get.
yes, there is definitely something magical about being able to share the things with the world, and I imagine that in translating, that is also something, being able to bring somebody's story into the hands of other people who may not have been able to understand it in the original language in which it was written.
Yes, yes, I feel like I'm a sort of messenger from someone that wants to deliver their story to another audience, and of course, it's not always possible to do it in different languages. So I help with that.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful mission and a beautiful purpose, because you get to spread hope and you get to spread stories and messages and joy with, you know, whole new communities. You get to open up whole new pathways for people to experience a story. And I think that's quite magical.
Yeah, I love doing this. You get to read amazing stuff. So not only are you being a messenger from for someone, but also you are learning yourself.
Yes. Well, I imagine, yes, it's quite the learning experience, because you get to be exposed to all of the content that you are then helping to translate and edit and bring out into the world, that you get to absorb all of that information as well at the same time.
Yes, yes, books especially. I
Yeah,
love translating books. It's very intense. Sometimes when you end a project, you are really exhausted.
I
But
can imagine.
yes, but I love it because you can see so many different perspectives and ways of living and knowledge in a book.
Yes. Oh, I love everything about that. So if anybody has resonated either with your story or would like to find out more about working with you on translation services to translate into Spanish or into Dutch or even into English from Spanish or Dutch, where can they find you and how can they connect with you?
I have a LinkedIn profile um, under my own name because it's long. Normally, I write it down. All my contact mostly is through email, but it is under my name, Maria Elena Abbott. My link tree is under Nina Abbott, so that's easier. I have an Instagram account that is at Abbott Böhme. And yeah, here in Facebook as well, also under Maria Elena Abbott.
Perfect. So if anybody would like to reach you, they can either find you on LinkedIn or Facebook under Maria Elena Abbott, or they can find you under on Instagram or on Linktree as well.
I have also another profile now I'm thinking about that's especially for books. That's a Readsy profile. Readsy platform is from the UK. So if you type my name there, Maria Elena Abbott, I will appear as well.
Okay, so if anybody's looking to connect with Maria Elena for translation services, you can find her on Readsy, which is a very well-known UK website for looking for editors and translators as well to do book work. So amazing. I love that. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today. I am super excited for the rest of the world to read and share your story because I really enjoyed reading it myself. And I am so grateful to you for saying yes and coming and joining us to share your perspective and your story, because I think it is one that is really important for us to be talking about, that sometimes business relationships, even when you do all of the things and have things in writing, don't always work to plan.
Yeah, they are not enough.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you to everybody who has been watching. If you would like to reach out to us and find out more about the Wounded Women series, we are closing applications for Betrayed shortly. We only have a couple of spaces left, but we would love to hear your perspectives if you have a story of how you have managed to turn a broken heart or some kind of betrayal into an opportunity to transform, grow, heal, and bring abundance and purpose into your life, just like Nina has. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, me too.
Bye.